Today's video is my no spend gift guide as a decluttering coach. I am Liz and this is Declutter Discontent. Just like a junk drawer, we've all got one. We all deal with discontentment. The goal of my channel is not to convert you to minimalism, but to find contentment in Christ and live life to the fullest. I make videos all about faith, motherhood, productivity, and of course, like the name says, decluttering, but not just your home, but also your heart. So if you struggle with retail therapy, seasonal depression, impulsive shopping, doom scrolling on social media, envy, perfectionism, I created a 4-step method that is a gospel-centered approach to addressing the discontentment in our hearts. A lot has happened since the last time I filmed a YouTube video. It's only been 2 months, but I have mixed feelings about being back on YouTube. I've genuinely missed it. It really is a creative outlet that is life-giving, but I also feel nervous being on camera. You'll probably actually see, I think my plan is to go back and edit a lot. I have a lot of footage from the summer and this past fall, so I'll probably still edit and post those videos very soon. But like I said, a lot has happened in the last 2 months. In October, my dad passed away unexpectedly. This is why I was a little hesitant to film, because talking about it is really hard, which is why I've spent a lot more time writing on Substack as my creative outlet, and it's been really healing and really therapeutic. It's been a really bittersweet season. Something that has been such a gift in this season of grief has been that we moved. So a lot of you have been following along on this journey. When I first launched my YouTube channel back in the springtime, I decluttered my entire house in 3 days. I did a whole series about decluttering my entire life. Long story short, if you're new around here, or if you just started following my YouTube channel, both my husband and I are from the West Coast. We spent 5.5 years, almost 6 years living in the South, specifically the state of Kentucky. All of our stuff was in storage for 6 months. We lived with my in-laws, and then Thanksgiving weekend, we moved into a rental home, and this is such an answered prayer because originally, when I started this series, I remember saying and mentioning that we were probably gonna renovate like a tiny home. We were gonna convert our grandma's shed, like garage, into a tiny home. And then we lost our grandpa, my husband's grandfather. We lost him in the month of June. And then we lost my dad in October. And now we are in this rental home, and it's such a blessing because it's literally right across from my in-laws. And so, like I said, it's very bittersweet. I'm so grateful to live near my husband's family because my in-laws offer so much support and care. And now I get to make this house feel like a home, and I really do think that that'll be a way to process and heal and move forward, is to, decorate and declutter and do all the things that I missed doing. And so I'm very excited for all the memories and the videos that will be made in this home. I have been doing a little mini series on my YouTube shorts, which you may have noticed. I've been doing Toastmas, 12 Days of Decluttering Your Heart and Your Home, which is essentially Vlogmas, but it's all about cultivating gratitude and generosity during this holiday season when it can be really bittersweet for a lot of people. I think it can be a really exciting time of the year, but to call it the most wonderful time of the year, I think a lot of women, specifically mothers, would agree that it can feel like one of the most stressful times of the year. There's a lot of, and sometimes with expectations come disappointment or discontentment. And my goal with this video specifically is to hopefully take the pressure off of feeling like whenever I start to see gift guides, I start to feel this self-imposed pressure and somewhat external pressure from others. Honestly, I just don't want the focus of Christmas to be about consumerism. You know, I've seen a handful of gift guides. Now there's even some that are like from a minimalistic perspective. This gift guide specifically that I created, that I put together, it's on my Substack. In my email newsletter, I sent that out a while ago, and now I decided to do the video version of it. But if you want to just read it, you can do that. I've included the description link below. Maybe you want to be sentimental and re-gift items that you have had in your home that you love and that you would want to pass down or pass along almost as like an heirloom, something that is maybe simple, but maybe something that is also sentimental. Okay, now finally, 10 items you already own to re-gift this Christmas. In case you're wondering, I keep looking this direction because I have my laptop out in front of me and I'm going to share with you this list. Number 1, unused journals. Unused journals are my Roman Empire. I feel like every time I go to a store, whether if it's a Walmart, a Hobby Lobby, Target also has a great selection. I always get excited when I see notebooks and journals, even though I don't need more. So if you're like me and you love journals, stationery items, and you have a lot that have yet to be used and there's no notes in them, you haven't written anything yet, I would highly recommend giving away a journal or a notebook, because especially if you have a loved one who loves to write, who loves to journal, who goes to church and needs a notebook to take sermon notes, or maybe even a friend or family member who is a student in school, they could also probably use a notebook or a journal. A quick side note, I think a really fun idea would be to actually write, make the first page as a handwritten letter in the notebook. The next is books. We decluttered 100 books. I took the time to count. Before we moved, as we were packing up our things, I spent so much time downsizing. So if you are a book lover, you probably are a part of a book club, and you probably have friends and family members that also love reading just as much as you do. So why not give a book that you've already read and you probably don't plan on rereading? The next is mugs. As you can tell, there is a theme going on. These are all items that I just have so much of. Every time I go thrifting, I always gravitate towards the mugs. And my brother literally recently said, "You are just always giving mugs for Christmas." And then I realized maybe I've given him too many mugs in the past. So if you have a lot of mugs to give and you know someone who also loves mugs, like I have a friend who is essentially a mug collector just like I am. And so that could be really fun, is adding to their collection. And just like the journals and notebooks, it's very practical. Who isn't going to use a mug when it's in their home and they drink coffee or tea? Fancy dishware. If you know someone who loves to host and throw parties, sometimes you end up with a hutch or a cabinet full of dishware that is maybe really beautiful, really pretty, but maybe it's just not practical enough in the season of life that you're in. Maybe you have young children and you just realize, I'm probably not going to use this, but it's really pretty. Or maybe you have a friend or a family member who loves to have a plate wall. That could be really cool too, is giving them one plate or a set. Throw blankets. Again, are you seeing the theme? Things that women have a lot of, like mugs, like journals. Sometimes some of us have a lot of throw blankets and a lot of decorative pillows. If you know someone who is a homebody and someone who loves to be cozy, picture frames. This one is perfect for grandparents. I think a lot of grandparents, especially ones that are new and first-time grandparents, they can never have enough photos of their grandbabies. So I highly recommend, if you're gonna take Christmas photos and you're gonna do the Christmas cards, I would recommend printing out some photos. You could do it at a local pharmacy. It's really simple. And then you can just frame them and gift it to a loved one. If you personally own a lot of candles and you have a lot of unused candles, that's a great gift to give away. Like I said, it's perfect for the person who is a homebody, who loves to host, someone who loves to be cozy. It's great, especially during winter. I mean, candles just make everything magical. You could even intentionally gift like a journal and a candle together to someone who loves to write. Clothes and accessories. I think a lot of us can agree that we have too much clothes. But have you ever had a friend or a family member tell you, "Oh, I love that sweater when you wear it," or like a very specific clothing item that someone else complimented and they were like, wow, they really loved it. And maybe that's an item that you don't feel the same way about. You're like, honestly, I'm okay with parting ways with it. I don't really love this item specifically. That could be really sweet. It would be really great to gift a beanie, a scarf, a knitted sweater. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Also, you could look through your spring and summer wardrobe if you've got a lot of items that you realized you went a whole year without wearing. If you didn't wear certain items during the spring and summer this past season, then maybe you can re-gift that, because it's probably time to just let go of the item if you have not worn it and you don't like it. Last but not least, the category is kids and baby items. I'm talking toys, scooters, books, musical instruments, even clothes. Think about an expecting or new mom. You can re-gift items that you know you won't be using in the future. Like maybe you have an expensive brand of like a wrap or a carrier or other gear. All of that stuff can be so expensive. And so I highly recommend re-gifting these items, spending some time decluttering your children's rooms and playrooms and basements and yard and all of that, and give away items that are gently used. I remember moms doing that for me, and that was such a blessing because they gave me items that were like expensive, like the Love Every like play gym. I was gifted that, and the Docatot, like I don't even know what it's called, the little bed that you can put anywhere in your home and your baby lays in it when they're newborn. You know, the carriers, the Solly wraps, all of that can be so expensive. And oftentimes the items, especially baby gear, is used for such a short period of time that if you know you didn't really love it and you probably won't use it if you have more children in the future, or you have older children and you won't be having more children, that would be so great, is to gift it to someone you know and love, and you can bless them with generosity this holiday season. If you are in need of a holiday reset and refresh, especially in your home, if you are hosting soon for the holidays, I highly recommend buying my digital guide called From Clutter to Calm. It's a beginner's guide to declutter discontent. This resource includes the 4 steps of Declutter Discontent, which are take inventory, create systems, refresh space, and implement boundaries to not only declutter your home, but also your heart in the process.